President Donald Trump has slammed Democrats for supporting a Palestinian protester who is facing deportation, calling it stupidity. Trump criticized their stance, arguing that lawbreakers should not be defended, especially when it comes to national security and immigration policies. This comes amid growing tensions over pro-Palestinian protests in the U.S., with Republicans pushing for stricter enforcement. Do you think Trump is right, or are the Democrats making a valid point? Let us know in the comments. And before you go, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more updates. See you in the next one.
A hearing set for anti-Israel activist Mahmoud Khalil in Louisiana tomorrow over his deportation. It comes as a judge rules to move his separate detainment case to very blue New Jersey.
Todd Pyro is here with more. Hey, Todd.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Former Columbia University grad student Mahmoud Khalil's removal hearing has been moved to tomorrow in Louisiana to determine if he can be legally deported. Now, this is separate from a federal judge's decision yesterday to transfer his detention hearing to New Jersey, not Louisiana, where he's currently being held. The judge citing a law that required the case be held in the same jurisdiction where Khalil was first held, which, of course, is New Jersey. The judge also denying the Trump administration's request to dismiss Khalil's challenge to his arrest. Trump doubling down on his decision, though, to remove Khalil.
Well, Khalil's not exactly an easy one either, because some judge, glommed onto him. But the Democrats lost big because of the stupidity of, they're backing these 90% negative things from their standpoint. People that hate Israel want to destroy it. People that are murderers. People that are horrible.
Khalil releasing a letter from an ICE detention center in Louisiana. Quote, "The Trump administration is targeting me as part of a broader strategy to suppress dissent. Visa holders, green card carriers, and citizens alike will all be targeted for their political beliefs. In the weeks ahead, students, advocates, and elected officials must unite to defend the right to protest," end quote. Khalil is a lawful permanent resident, a.k.a. a green card holder, who helped lead Columbia University's anti-Israel protests last spring. He was arrested by federal immigration authorities earlier this month, expected to remain in Louisiana until that New Jersey judge weighs in. Back over to you.
So, Todd, as a lawyer, since he is a green card holder, that makes him an American citizen, essentially. What is the process for deporting somebody like that?
Again, this is all going to come down to a battle of whose view of the law ultimately wins out. And the Trump administration is saying, look, under the laws of deportation, if you do anything as a green card holder that violates any of the tenets that Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, lays out as a precondition for being here, then he can remove you. Obviously, on the other side, they're going to make the more, you have all the rights of a citizens, and that's what Khalil's lawyers are going to put forth. It's going to be interesting. And again, I say this all the time for all these cases. The Supreme Court ultimately is going to have to decide this, because I don't think the law is 100% clear on this point. And I think this is where you're going to get the new case law. Right. And that's why I view this case, Steve, really as a trial balloon. I think the people supporting Khalil know exactly what they're doing. Trump knows exactly what he's doing. This is going to come down to those 9 justices in robes in the Supreme Court.
Thanks, Todd. I love that what Marco Rubio said. Marco Rubio said if he said, hey, I'm pro-Palestinian, I'm pro-Hamas, I'd like to come to Columbia, go to school and create unrest, he wouldn't have gotten in. So you lied. Yeah. You came in here as a student. You had an agenda, an older student. How you got into Columbia, I don't get.
Look at this. I'm looking up the judge from New Jersey because he's the one that's going to hear this case. His name is Michael Farbiarz. I think that's how you pronounce it. It says he went to Columbia.
Well,
he taught courses at Columbia Law School and New York University School of Law.
The bottom line is this guy.
Education, sorry, Lawrence. Education at Harvard and at Yale. So Ivy League.
No, this guy doesn't care about our country. He's trying to bring discourse to our country. Khalil. It's a big problem. And the thing that people are missing is there's a Khalil on most college campuses, every single one of them, that are starting these protests. They have direct connections with Hamas. They want to tear up the foundation, and we're letting it happen. It is a privilege to be in this country if you're on a green card or a visa. And what the Secretary of State is saying, I control the process. And you have violated, you lied to the American people, you lied to our offices, and I'm revoking it. And what they're going to set this up for everyone that has a visa or a green card that gets denied, now they're going to want want a judge to get involved with that, and we can't allow that to happen.
Right. You know what? I said he's a green card holder. He's a citizen. Actually, he's not a citizen, but he can apply for citizenship through the normal process. What he's trying to do is he's trying to make it a First Amendment issue, as opposed to whether, the authority of the federal government to deport people who are in this country at the invitation of the United States.
I believe our United States government should be able to revoke a visa for any reason. For any reason. You're not a citizen of this country. It's a privilege. They shouldn't have to justify protecting this country. Yeah. Shouldn't happen.
Well, let's see what happens.
Gotta go.
Carly, the case of anti-Israel protester Mahmoud Khalil makes its way to a Louisiana courtroom tomorrow for his removal hearing after a judge in his detention hearing moved that case to Blue State, New Jersey instead of Louisiana. Denise Cohen's an attorney and Columbia University alum. She joins me now. Just for the audience at home, these are two separate hearings, detention and removal. Tomorrow's removal hearing, though, I think is the big one because that will determine if he is legally deportable. How do you think the court should rule?
Well, how they should rule and how they will rule?
You can answer both.
Very different. I think they will probably rule that he is not deportable at this point, that they will say that the arrest or the detention was not legal. They'll find a reason for it. But the truth is his behavior falls exactly within the definition of what would make him deportable. The same standards that should have probably prevented him from getting a student visa would be the same that would enable him to be deported. And these are things like passing out pamphlets that are associated with Hamas, a terrorist organization, leading student activities to take over buildings. All of this behavior is not in line with getting a green card or staying in the United States.
Let's broaden this out, though, from this one case to so many of the individuals that we've seen at your alma mater. Do you think that these kind of hearings should be held for more than just Mahmoud Khalil?
Absolutely. And part of the problem with it just being him right now is he's becoming a martyr, for First Amendment protections, and this has nothing to do with the First Amendment. There are so many people that have been involved with this that have allowed other students to be harassed and not go to classes and just turn what used to be a beautiful campus into complete chaos. So there are a lot of people that ought to be held accountable for this. Here's the president weighing in on this case last night. Let's listen.
Well, Khalil's not exactly an easy one either, because some judge, glommed onto him. But the Democrats lost big because of the stupidity of, they're backing these 90% negative things from their standpoint. People that hate Israel want to destroy it. People that are murderers. People that are horrible.
We went through the legal reaction. I asked you those questions, but now your reaction just as an alum, as a human.
My reaction to what Columbia
Donald Trump said and just these overall protests.
As an American, as a Jewish woman, as a New Yorker, as an alum, I'm extremely grateful that he's taking this position. It was horrible to have to sit back and watch this rise to the levels that it had risen to, and it didn't need to get here. Had Columbia did something like what NYU had done in the early days, where they actually brought in the NYPD and they worked in collaboration with them, so it was a very safe place to be. My own niece, Hannah, was actually at NYU at the time and she had no problems. If Columbia had done that, we wouldn't be facing the situation today, and these students would not be facing deportation.
And I think it underscores the fact that it can be done if you have the will within your institution. If not, this happens. The Wall Street Journal reporting Columbia is close to giving in to President Trump's demands in order to make sure they don't lose that $400 million in federal funding. But again, it comes back to this question. Why did it have to come down to the threat of losing all this federal money for a school like Columbia to just do the right thing?
It's really complicated to answer that question. I'm not there, but I will tell you that the professors had a very pro-Arab, anti-Israel bent when I was there. And I got my degree from the same school, the SIPA, from the Middle East Institute. And I was shocked with the way that they were presenting the history of the Middle East. It was very different to anything that I had learned outside. So there is this inclination to be very supportive of, say, Palestinian rights. But Palestinian rights are not the same as being pro-Hamas. And that's where this has gone. It got completely out of hand, and I think that if there's weakness, whenever you have weakness in leadership, people take over, and that's what's happened.
It's like when water finds a way to make it through a crack. That's basically what happened here, and the cracks in Columbia are being exposed. Denise Cohen, thank you for your time and your insight. Really fascinating.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.